the Holistic Healer Collective and Wellset. Wellset is the world's first booking platform for the general public to be able to book online with all different types of wellness practitioners. And Holistic Healer Collective represents and promotes healers, different types of healers, and helps them with business strategy and development. And Danielle here is part of the Healer Collective team. She's amazing and heads up social strategy. And she's also a great yoga teacher. And we asked her to teach a class here on opening the hips, since we're all sitting a lot during this epidemic and in small spaces. So Danielle's here to teach a class in this, and we hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so as Talia mentioned, my name is Danielle. I am a yoga teacher. I live actually right outside of New York City. And yeah, I teach primarily a Vinyasa Flow style class, but today we'll be kind of doing a Vinyasa Flow class, but really focusing on the hips. So we'll work a little bit into the hip flexors, the front of your hips. We'll get into the outer hips and glutes a little bit. I do generally teach a pretty open level class, so you'll get a lot of options if you're looking to kind of deepen, and then also on the flip side, if you're looking to maybe take it a little bit easier today. So just kind of be prepared for all of the options. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started in a reclined position today. So Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're going to come to laying on our backs. And you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together. Let the knees come out just as wide as they allow. And if this becomes a little bit too much at any point in time, you're just going to bring the knees up and ground through the feet. So we don't want any kind of pulling on the inner thigh. We just want a gentle starting to open here. So if it's okay in your body, let those knees slide out wide. Heels further away from your body will be a little bit more gentle. Heels closer towards your body will be a little bit deeper. So you can kind of customize here for what might fit best in your body today. As you come into this reclined position, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Let the arms come alongside of the body, and just give yourself a moment here to take up some space. So try to widen the stance of the arms. Let the arms come out a little bit wider than they may naturally have. Let the fingers curl. Feel the shoulder blades press down into the mat. Feel a slight press through the low back to start to engage the core. Just taking a moment here to come into the space, come onto your mat. Beginning just by maybe noticing any noises or sounds that may surround you. And as you connect to sound, start to also connect to the sound of your breath. Without judgment or without expectation, just allowing yourself to acknowledge your breath. If you're not already breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, start to let that cycle of breath become a little bit deeper. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Thinking about kind of a slow build here, right? So with each cycle, you start to breathe a little bit deeper, with a little bit more intention, filling up all the nooks and crannies throughout the body. Notice the low belly expanding, the chest rising, the back body starts to lift off of the mat as your breath deepens. All of these sensations that we start to become aware of. And as we allow this deep breath to become a little bit more normal here and kind of as part of our practice, taking just a moment to kind of bring to mind something that you might want to celebrate, right? Especially with kind of our current climate and everything that we might be feeling and going through on a day-to-day basis. It's important to still kind of connect to something that we can celebrate. Could be the celebration of getting on your mat this afternoon. It could be the celebration of making time for yourself, celebration of perseverance, right? Something you can think of throughout your practice today that might bring a little bit of a smile to your face. And over these next 5 to 6 breaths, continue to allow that celebration to grow deeper with each breath. Think about feeling that celebration throughout every inch of the body, every nook and cranny that you're opening. Invite that feeling in. Maybe let the corners of the mouth turn up, finding a little bit of a smile here. Unhinge the jaw, relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. And with your next inhale, we'll start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Invite little bits of movement back into the body, gently letting the head drop from side to side. And then slowly, one leg at a time, go ahead and ground both feet if you're not there already. So grounding the right foot, grounding the left foot. Keep the arms out to a T, but flip the palms so that the palms are facing down towards the mat. And then go ahead and gently let the legs windshield wiper really, really slowly here from side to side. So as those knees windshield wiper from side to side, think about pressing into the outside edges of the feet as the legs drop. So we're really kind of being very intentional here with this little movement. Try to flex through the feet. Even as those knees drop from side to side, begin to engage the core. Find that active press down through the palms, through the shoulders. Especially if this is kind of your first little bit of movement for the day here. Just kind of, right, connect with your body. See where you're at today. Good. We're going to draw those knees back through center and then lift the bottoms of the feet off the mat, gathering the knees into the chest. Bring the hands to the outsides of the shins. Let the feet just kind of relax here. Let there be some space in between your knees and just kind of draw the thighs towards the chest. Find a slight rock here from side to side, just very gently massaging the low back. Maybe even starting to make circles with the knees here, clockwise or counterclockwise. And try to let the eyes remain closed here for as long as you can throughout your practice this morning, right? Really just kind of trying to connect internally. Keeping those knees gathered into the chest, go ahead and roll over nice and gently onto one side, finding a moment of pause in the fetal position. And as you find that fetal position, again, try to keep the eyes closed, come back to that celebration, and maybe even kind of allowing a moment for setting your intention. Think about breathing in nice and deeply, setting that intention. Breathing out, softening the body, softening the mind, letting anything go that no longer serves. Let the eyes flutter open, finding a soft gaze, and gently press yourself up, coming into a nice comfortable cross-leg seat. Cross-leg doesn't jive in your body, but you can take any other seated position. So we're gonna let the hands come on tops of the knees or the thighs for a moment here, and just some really simple shoulder rolls. So roll those shoulder heads up towards the ears, roll them down the back of the body, and start to find a stack of the shoulders and the hips here, even as we go through those shoulder rolls, right? Draw the belly button towards the spine, engage through the core. And switch those directions with your shoulder rolls, shoulder heads roll forward, round into the back of the body. Good, nice and slowly, we'll meet in a neutral spine. So find that relaxed shoulder space, draw up through the low belly, lengthen through the spine. Arms alongside of the body, closing the eyes. We'll do this a couple times, just really syncing breath and movement. On your next inhale, lift the arms, palms touch above the head. On your exhale, arms release right back down where they came from, palms face down. We'll do that a couple times, try to close the eyes, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arms lower. Try to take the full cycle of breath to match the movement. So not rushing either movement. Inhale, rise, lift the arms with the breath. Exhale, arms lower, nice and slowly, palms face down. Thinking about lifting up something that you need here. As you inhale, we rise. Exhale, palms flip down, press away anything that no longer serves. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower. Last time, inhale, rise, pausing at the top. Interlace the palms as you exhale. Press the heels of the palms towards the ceiling. Draw up through the low belly. Keep that core nice and tight. We're going to round forward, seated cats and cows here. Draw the chin towards the chest. Create space across the back of the body. Use the inhale, lift the arms, soften the elbows at the top, send the chest forward. Begin to take this at your own pace and in your own shape. So rounding with your inhale, lifting with your exhale. start to let side body stretches come into play. Maybe think about making nice big circles, right? Rocking forward and backwards, side to side. Try to close the eyes, listen to the sound of the breath. Let that sound of the breath really guide you here, right? No rules here, just kind of moving in a way that is serving you this morning. 3 more full cycles of breath. Good. Next time those arms come up to frame the ears, find a soft release. And we're going to plant the palms in front of the body. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. So as we come into tabletop, we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide, find a stack of the shoulders and the wrists and the hips and the knees. And go ahead and tap your feet a little bit here, just kind of, again, coming into awareness of your body. So tapping, tapping, tapping through the feet. Allow the feet to relax, spread the toes wide. We're going to start with some cats and cows. We already did a little bit of seated cats and cows. So you might feel a little bit more mobile here, hopefully, than normal. Soft bend into the elbows. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze. Broaden through the collarbones with the inhale. On your exhale, press into the palms. Round into the back body. Draw the chin towards the chest. Inhale. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze. Exhale. Press and round. Again, start to let these cats and cows take your own shapes. Hips can make circles, right? Rock forward and backwards, side to side. Let your spinal mobility and kind of, right, anything that might feel good here, let that start to come into play. Think about lubricating the joints, warming through the spine. We're starting to open through the front of the body, the shoulders, right? We're connecting even deeper to the breath. Continue to have an awareness of what's going on in the feet. So spread the toes wide, press down through the feet and the shins. That's going to actually help you create more space across the front of the body. Couple more rounds. Deep breath in, full breath out. Close the eyes. Good. Meeting in a neutral spine, coming into that flat back. From your tabletop position, we're going to send the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. As you find child's pose, reach the arms forward, tent the fingers, finding length in the sides of the body. So let the forehead ground, right? Or let the head just kind of hang and relax a little bit here if the forehead doesn't quite make it to the mat. And just feel the breath. Deep breath in, back body rises. Deep breath out, chest melts forward. Good. Start to shift your gaze forward, coming back into that tabletop position. From that tabletop position, we're going to tuck the toes, wake up our core energy a little bit here, that Mula Bandha, that root lock. Right, so grounding into the palms, find a little bit of that broadening feeling across the back of the body. As you tuck the toes, lift the knees just an inch. So you want to think about the shins here being parallel to the floor, parallel to your mat. Right, we're pressing into the palms, round into the back, drop the head, relax through the back of the neck. We're going to hold here for 3 deep breaths. Try to maybe even find a little bit of a smile here. Let the head relax. You'll be amazed what a smile does for the length that we will hold this. Take another full breath in. And on your exhale, send the hips towards the sky, coming into your first downward facing dog. So just for good measure here, in that downward facing dog, we're going to go ahead and roll forward, find a plank position. So we want to try to keep this kind of this stance, right, between, or the distance rather, between the hands and the feet. And then on your exhale, back into downward facing. So go ahead and pedal it out a little bit here. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. If you live in a little bit of a tighter body here, right, something that I love to do is spread your feet a little bit wider. So especially if you're somebody that has a little bit of tension or tightness in your hamstrings, try bringing your feet about mat width distance. You might find a lot more space, right? And that's also going to give you a little bit more mobility in the low back if you go ahead and bend the knees. Getting out maybe some snap, crackle, pops. You can roll onto the top edge of one foot, top edge of the other. Again, try to close the eyes, listen to the sound of your breath, and let the sound of the breath really guide you this morning. Good. From that downward facing dog, we're going to shift our gaze forward, take a nice slow, mindful walk to the top of your mat. coming into our first forward fold. As you find your forward fold, bend your knees. So go for a deep bend, even a lot deeper than you would normally go for here. So nice deep bend into the knees, grab for opposite elbows, and think about the forearms here kind of reaching towards the floor. So we're melting the chest forward. Begin to press into the outside edges of the feet so that we're not kind of, right, collapsing into the inner thighs here. Press down and through all edges of the feet. Relax the head. Shake the head yes and no. Let it go. Maybe even finding a nice deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Couple just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Let yourself sink a little bit deeper. One more big breath in. Exhale out of the mouth. Release the arms. Ragdoll the arms. Keep the bend into the knees, vertebra by vertebra. Head is the last thing to lift as you rise up to stand. Coming into your first Tadasana mountain pose. Make your way to the top of your mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. Soft bend into the knees. So no locking through the knees. Nice soft bend. Roll the shoulders. Think about hugging the shoulder blades kind of together, right? So we're still active in the back of the body. Draw up through the low belly, Mula Bandha, that root lock. Closing through the eyes. On your next inhale, lift the arms. On your exhale, draw palms to heart center. Take a moment of pause. Active press, palm into palm, thumbs into chest. Come back to that intention, right? And maybe it's just infusing a little bit of that celebratory feeling into your practice and into your body, right? Let the corners of the mouth turn up. Find a gentle smile. Take another full breath in. Exhale, release the arms, coming back into Tadasana. Invite that soft bend into the knees. Next inhale, arms lift. On your exhale, palms through heart center as you fold forward, coming back into your forward fold. On your inhale, lengthen through the spine, palms to shins, finding flat back. On your exhale, find forward fold. Ground the palms. We're going to step the left foot back, keep the right foot forward. So nice deep bend into that right knee. Lift the gaze, broaden through the collarbone. So see if you can become nice and light in the fingertips here. If this is a little bit too deep, you're going to go ahead and lower that back knee. So we're working on opening through the front of the left hip here, that left hip flexor. So we're just going to hold for another deep breath in, press through the ball of the left foot. Ground the palms with your exhale, step back, plank or tabletop position. I'll give a lot of variations here for these vinyasas. We're gonna hold, take a nice deep inhale. With your exhale, lower the knees, lower down chest and chin, coming all the way to the belly. Elbows hug in, untuck the toes. Inhale, find baby cobra, pressing into the tops of the feet. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. On the exhale, lower the chest, tuck the toes, press back through table or plank. And we'll meet back together in downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs, shake the head, acknowledge how different this shape is already, right? From your downward facing dog, we'll shift our gaze forward, take a nice slow walk once again, top of your mat. Feet your hips width distance apart, find that deep bend into the knees. Reach for opposite elbow grip. Go for your opposite elbow grip this time if you can remember, probably right, your non-dominant side. Let the chest melt towards the thighs. Let the head relax. Let the forearms reach towards the floor. Deep breath in. Feel the belly expand, back body rise. If those inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth are calling you here, feel free to honor that space, right? Let go of any stale energy, stale breath. Making room for all of that new energy and fresh breath. As you're ready, release the opposite elbow grip, arms ragdoll, vertebra by vertebra, we roll all the way up to stand. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, palms face forward, coming to the top of the mat. We'll do that same series on our left side. Nice big breath in, lift the arms. On the exhale, palms through heart center as you fold forward, forward fold. Use your inhale, lengthen the spine, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Ground the palms, left foot's gonna stay forward, right leg steps back into that low lunge. So again, right, you can lower that back knee or you can keep the back knee lifted. Press through the ball of the back foot, squeeze through the glutes and try to come up onto the tips of the fingertips here. So we're not only stretching, but also strengthening, right? Collarbones are broad and open, shoulders away from the ears. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, ground the palms, step back, plank or tabletop position. Hold here for your inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. You can always skip the vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, we'll meet back, downward facing. Take a couple breaths here, pedal the legs, shake the head. As a reminder, you can always widen the stance of the feet, give the hamstrings a little bit more space. Think about tailbone towards the sky. Nice full inhale, full exhale. Feel free to move, feel free to stay still, right? Whatever is calling you. From your downward facing dog, take a nice deep breath in, lift that right leg up into the air. Nice and mindfully here, especially if you live in a small space. Flex through the right foot, bend the right knee, and open the hip, right? So this is gonna look different for everybody. There might be rolls of the ankle here. There might be nice big circles with that knee if that calls you. Being mindful of the core staying active here so we're not sinking into that low back. Take a couple more rounds of breath, free kind of movement here in that right hip. Stay active in the right leg, flex the right foot, squeeze the right glute, pressing into both palms. As you're ready, re-extend that right leg long, square the hip. Shift the gaze forward, rise high on the ball of the left foot. Shifting forward, right knee towards the chest, shoulders over the wrists. Step the right foot in between the palms. We're gonna lengthen through the spine with the inhale. On the exhale, arms rise, coming into high crescent lunge. So arms are gonna frame the ears, fingertips, or palms rather, are facing one another. Spread your right toes wide so we're not sinking into that kind of right toe. Sink a little deeper into that right knee, and then try to find a gentle bend into the back knee here, right? And hold here, think about opening through the chest, squeeze through the glutes. Full breath in. On the exhale, bring the hands down to the inside of the front foot. So we're gonna walk that right foot over to the right side of the mat for lizard pose. So again, another variation here is to lower that back knee. You can keep the back knee lifted, or you can even lower down to the forearms, right? My hips are not feeling that today, so I'm gonna stay up here. If your palms are grounded, back knee is lifted, right? We're gonna think about sending the chest and the collarbones, the heart space forward. You're opening into that left hip flexor here. So we wanna continue to be active. So regardless of your variation, right? That right knee is hugging towards the right shoulder. Breathe here. Full inhale, full exhale. With your next exhale, go ahead and lower the back knee. If you were down on your forearms, go ahead and come back up. We're gonna untuck the back toes. Remember what we did in tabletop, right? We were really active in the top of the left foot. We're gonna bring that back into play here. So press down into the top of the left foot. We're gonna come onto the outside edge of that right foot. So flex through the right foot. Left hand is gonna stay grounded. Right hand is gonna press into that right thigh, pressing that right leg away. So we're getting into the outside of that right glute here. Right? Breathe. Squeeze through the left glute, draw up through the core so you're not sinking into that low back. A lot of things going on here. Couple more breaths. Take another inhale. This is so good if you sit all day. On the exhale, return that right foot so that it's fully grounded. Right toes point forward. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. We're gonna pivot that left heel down, cartwheel your arms around and up so you're in a warrior two on that right side. I'm gonna flip around so I'm facing you guys. So right heel in line with your left arch. Soften through the shoulders, bend a little deeper into that front knee. We're gonna use our inhale to straighten the front leg, flip the front palm, peaceful triangle. Nice little break for that right leg. And on your exhale, return to warrior two. Right forearm to the top of the front thigh, left hand to the hip crease, or left arm frames the ear, extended side angle. Right, so again, variations here. Left hand to the hip, Left hand to the inside of the front thigh. You can go for a full bind if that's in your wheelhouse, right? Reaching that right arm underneath the front thigh. Again, my hips are not feeling that today, so I am going to stay right here. Rotate that top shoulder open. Active press of the right forearm into that right thigh. Breathe. Only letting your gaze shift up if it's okay on your neck. You can always look down. Take another full inhale. On your exhale, rise back up with the torso, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot, just coming back to the top of my mat. We're stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Plank, 3-limb plank with the right leg lifted. Plank or tabletop. Take a deep breath in wherever you go. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, back bend of choice, baby cobra, upward facing. Exhale, press back through table or plank. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. Take a couple rounds of breath, pedal the legs, shake the head yes, shake the head no. We'll get ready to do that same series on our second side. So to start here, we're gonna mindfully lift that left leg, right? And notice how you lifted that left leg. Oftentimes, right, kind of our first inclination is just to throw that leg up. So if that's what you did, go ahead and place the foot down and see if you can use your full cycle of breath to lift the leg. So move very slowly. Feel every inch of the foot and the glute and the hamstring. Once that left leg is lifted, then flex the foot, bend the knee, open the hip, roll the ankle. Again, this is going to look different for everybody, right? Maybe some circles with that left knee. Move slowly, right? So use that breath kind of as a counter here for how long those movements should take. Can you slow your breath and in turn slow your movement? Be very connected to what's actually going on in the body. Good, we're gonna re-extend that left leg nice and long, flex the toes down towards the mat. We're gonna rise high on the ball of the right foot, shift the gaze forward, draw the knee towards the chest, hold, then step the foot in between the palms. Lengthen through the spine with your inhale, press through the ball of the back foot. And then we're gonna rise with the arms, high crescent lunge on that left side. So nice deep bend in the left knee. You can have a soft bend into the back knee. Soften the shoulders, send the chest and the heart space forward. Find a slight tuck of the tailbone here, right? But we don't want that kind of, that sticking out in the low back, right? So we wanna hug everything up and in, hence the bend of that back knee. That can really help here. Breathe. Squeeze the right glute, soften the shoulders. Take another inhale to lift. Exhale, hands down to the inside of the front foot. Walk that left leg over to the left. So we're coming into lizard on the left side here. So we're pressing through the ball of that right foot or lowering the back knee, untuck the back toes. Left knee is hugging towards the left shoulder wherever you are, right? Regardless of your shape. We're gonna actively hug that left knee in while we stretch through the front of the right hip. Breathe here. You can always lower down to the forearms if that's in your wheelhouse. Connect back, slow inhale, slow exhale. Think about all of that still energy that you're letting go of here, right? A little bit of discomfort, we can breathe through that. You got it, 2 more breaths. Slow the breath. Tell yourself you are okay, you are safe, you are here. Let the corners of the mouth turn up. Find a little bit of a smile. Nobody can even see you. Take another breath in. On the exhale, lower the back knee if you haven't already. Untuck the toes. Energize the top of that foot. Right hand grounds. Roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. Press the left hand into that left inner thigh. I'm going to flip around just so that you guys can see me here. Right? So we're coming onto the outside edge of that left foot, flex and press. Rotate that left shoulder open, squeeze through the glutes so we're protecting the low back. Press down into the top of the right foot. Hold here, you got it. 2 more breaths. Try not to collapse on that right side. Active press into the right palm. Another inhale. Exhale, ground both hands. Walk that left foot back to the center of your mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. We're preparing for warrior 2. So we're gonna pivot that right heel down, Cartwheel around and up, warrior two on your left side. I'm gonna flip around here. Again, left foot forward, right foot back, left heel, lining up with the inside arch of your back foot. With your next inhale, we straighten the front leg, flip the front palm, nice little break for that front leg. Try not to stick the booty back, draw up through the low belly, lengthen through the left side. Return to warrior two. Left forearm to the top of the front thigh, right hand to the hip crease, right arm towards the sky, or right arm frames the ear. Yogi's choice here. Be mindful we're not collapsing and rounding, right? So press into the left forearm to rotate that right shoulder open. Breathe. Feel that long line of energy, right fingertips through outside edge of your right foot. Breathe. Good, next inhale, rise with the torso. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Left foot steps back, plank, 3-limb plank with the left leg lifted or tabletop. Yogi's choice on your vinyasa, 3-limb chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, any vinyasa here. We'll meet back together in downward facing dog. Pedal the legs. Shake your head, find your breath. Nice deep, slow inhales. Deep, slow exhales. From your downward facing dog, bring your feet mat width distance. We're gonna walk the feet back towards the hands. We're gonna come into Balasana or Yogi Squat. I'm gonna face the camera just to give you guys a nice, little bit of a better demonstration here. So feet are gonna be mat width distance, heels slightly in, toes slightly out. We're gonna bend the knees, drop the hips for Balasana Yogi Squat. So hands can come to heart, heels can pop up, right? You can kind of rock a little bit from side to side here if that feels good. If your heels can be fully grounded, just be mindful you're not rounding into the back. So try to lengthen through the spine, send the chest and the heart space forward. And see if you can let those eyes close. Slow the breath. Come back to that intention. Come back to that celebratory feeling. Let the corners of the mouth turn up. Remind yourself that you are doing something good for yourself and for your body. Let the eyes flutter open. Grounding the palms, send the hips towards the sky. Come back into that slightly wide leg forward fold. You should be at the back of your mat. We're going to make our way forward from the back of our mat, right, in that wide leg fold. We're gonna just make our way to the top of our mat. So just a nice kind of slow crawl here into a forward fold. Feet or hips width distance, and nice and slowly we'll roll all the way up to stand. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, soften through the knees. So we're gonna move into a standing figure four stretch. So depending upon kind of right where you are in your space, if you're feeling a little bit like you need a little support today for balance, you can just hold onto kind of a table. I have a dog crate over here or my fridge, so you can hold on to anything, right? So just so you guys know where we're going, we're just gonna do that one stretch on each side. So we're gonna start by bringing the hands to the hips, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Taking it very slowly, step by step. Weight starts to shift into the right foot, let the left heel peel off of the mat. So try to find a steady point of gaze, right? And just move very slowly. Soft bend into the right knee. Lift the left knee to find hip height. Flex the foot, very important to protect your knee. That left ankle is gonna find the top of the right thigh. We're gonna flex that left foot, press the left knee down towards the floor. This might be where you stay, right? If you're seeking a little bit more here, hands can come to the heart. As you bend into the standing leg, draw up through the belly, keep the length in the spine. Breathe. Variations here. Forearms to the shins, right? You can fold fully forward, hands reaching towards the floor. You can take a little bit of a prayer twist here if you're looking for a challenge, right? So wherever you go, be mindful the flex of the left foot, the draw up of the low belly. You don't want to sink into the low back here. Breathe, right? Remember to breathe. 3 more breaths wherever you are. The deeper you bend into that right knee, the deeper the stretch on the hip. Relax the head and the neck if it's accessible. Surrender to the space. Take another full inhale. With the same intention you went in, rise out, left knee towards the chest, and shake it out. Nice work. So just a little kind of sun salutation arms here just to reset that energy. Coming to Tadasana, arms alongside of the body, soft bend into the knees. We inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, vertebra by vertebra, we roll all the way up to stand. Roll the shoulders, hands to the hips. Steady point of gaze, weight starts to shift into the left foot. Right heel peels off of the mat, just the heel to start. Steady point of gaze, soft bend into the left knee. Draw up through the low belly for the whole series, right? So much energy comes from the core. Right knee towards the chest. Flex the foot. Keep the flex of the foot. Right ankle finds the top of the left thigh. Press the right knee down. This might be where you stay if you're seeking more. Hands to heart. Bend the knees. Draw the hips towards the floor. Forearms can come to the shins. Variations here. Hands can reach down. Every side is different. Move mindfully. You can take a prayer twist. Right elbow connects to the right arch. Breathe wherever you are. If you're folded forward or anywhere that it's accessible to drop the head, please do. Breathe. You got it. 2 more breaths. As slowly and mindfully as you went in, begin to draw up through the low belly. Feel the strength of the left glute as you rise. Right knee in towards the chest. Step that right foot down and shake it out. Nice work. All right, so come back to the top of the mat once again in your Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Soft bend into the knees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, palms through heart as we fold forward, forward, fold. One of our last vinyasas together this morning. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Ground the palms, walk, step, hop if that's in your wheelhouse through plank or table. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Up dog or baby cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. From that downward facing dog, right leg rises. With your exhale, gaze forward, draw the right knee behind the right wrist. We're coming into pigeon on the right side. So send that left leg back. And you can keep the left toes tucked for a moment here just to kind of stay active, right? We don't want to sink and fold. We want to kind of really remain engaged in our muscles here. If you go to untuck the toes, really kind of try to, again, press into the top of that left foot, right? If you want a little strength building for that right glute, you can even play with hands to heart for a moment, right? And notice kind of how we're lifting in the hips and not sinking down, right? And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and fold forward. Find any full expression of pigeon that might work in your body today. Adds a variation here. If that doesn't feel good on your knees, you're going to come into a reclined figure 4. So very similar to what we just did standing. So right ankle will find the top of the left thigh, flex the foot, and hold here, right? You can also do that same thing seated. Pressing and lift through the chest. I'm going to be quiet now and just allow you to find your breath. Let the sounds of your inhales and your exhales guide you. Three more full cycles of breath. Wherever you are, begin to rise with the chest, grounding the palms. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. We're going to come back into plank position. As you find plank, we're going to come into a modified or a variation of upward facing dog. If up dog doesn't work for you, please take baby cobra. Otherwise, squeeze the glute, keep the toes tucked. We're going to think about drawing the hip points towards the wrist creases, right? So instead of going full here, I want you to think about activating more through your glutes and your thighs here. So it's a lot more of an active shape. Think about soft bend into the elbows, open through the chest. This should be a lot more intensive on the legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing. Pedal the legs. Second side. Left leg lifts, big breath in, mindful breath. Exhale, left knee behind the left elbow or wrist. Reach that right leg long. Start with the tucked right toes, right? Just to see if you can kind of find that little bit of engagement in the glutes and in kind of the pelvic area, right? So maybe hands to heart, maybe you explore that. And then we allow ourselves to fold forward and find a full variation, whatever that might look like for you today. And as a reminder, right, you can come into reclined figure 4 on the back. And you can also do that same kind of stretch seated. So lots of options for what works in your body and what works in your knees. Let the sound of your breath guide you. 5 deep full cycles. With your next inhale, start to lift the chest, grounding into the palms. And this time we're going to come onto the left hip. If you're craving a down dog or another vinyasa, feel free to take it. But otherwise, roll onto the left hip point. Bring your legs around forward. We're going to come into a seated shape with our feet grounded. So your toes are going to face the front of your mat. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Palms are going to ground right behind your seat. Fingertips face forward. Use the inhale, lift the hips, finding reverse table. So we're just going to hold here. You can let the head drop back if it's in your wheelhouse. If you prefer reverse plank with straight legs, feel free to take that. But otherwise, again, try to open through the hips, the front of the body, relax the head if you can. Breathe. As slowly as you can, lowering the hips down. And we're going to come to a nice reclined position for just a little bit more reclined work before we come into our final Shavasana. So as you come to laying on the back, gather the knees into the chest, a nice gentle rock here from side to side. Arms out to a T, let the palms face down and let your knees drop over to the right side for a supine twist. So right hand can come on top of the thigh if you'd like. Left ear towards the floor, dropping the head over to the left side. Feel your breath. Giving your body these next few moments to really kind of transition back into a little bit of a slower, kind of more easeful state. That right arm can reach out if you'd like, or it can be on top of the right thigh. Let the breath be the constant here. Full inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Let the knees come through center, gently dropping over to the opposite side. Again, left hand can come on top of the thigh. Right arm reaches out to a T, palm facing down. Letting that head drop over to the right side. Let the eyes close. Notice if there's any passive tension in the hands, specifically the left hand if it's on the thigh. Sometimes we really clench there, and see if you can just kind of relax that hand a little bit. No forcefulness or pressure. Feel the chest rise, the back body expand. Maybe letting that intention come back to the forefront of the mind for a moment. And with ease and control, knees come back to center, gathering them in, taking this opportunity maybe for a happy baby, reaching for the outside edges of the feet, send the feet towards the ceiling. Again, hands can come to the shins if the outer edges of the feet is a little bit much here. Press down through the low back. Maybe you rock a little bit, maybe you stay where you are. Think about lengthening through the back of the neck, lengthening through the spine as a whole here. You can hold this happy baby for as long as you'd like. And once you're ready to make your way out, use these next few breaths. If there's any final asana that your body is craving, whether it's a shoulder stand, if you have props or blocks and would like to do legs up the wall, or maybe even move to a wall and do legs up a wall, right? If you're in your home and that's possible, that would be a really great way to seal your practice this afternoon, right? So if you're going to do that, your hips are going to come directly up against a wall. You're going to keep a soft bend into the knees rather than lock the legs, and just allow the legs to be supported by the wall. I'm going to come up into a seated position to seal our practice together, but please feel free to stay in your reclined shape for these next few moments. And as you use these next few rounds of breath to, again, really kind of seal your practice, please start to settle into a shape that allows you to connect back to the inhales, connect back to the exhales. And similarly to how we started our practice, allow those breaths to gradually go deeper. As we come back into this still space, take a moment to once again acknowledge and honor your intention and what brought you to your mat, to your practice. And what can you celebrate, right? What can make the corners of the mouth turn up? What can allow you that smile to feel joy? And with each breath, can you think about that feeling of joy and happiness and celebration trickling into every little nook and cranny of the body, especially those nooks and crannies that you opened this morning. Each inhale, the body grows a little bit more fresh and light. And with each exhale, we are able to soften and surrender. Breaths grow deeper, intention grows stronger. Let the breath guide the mind's eye, the sounds of the inhales and exhales, the feeling of the inhales and exhales. If you have the gift of time, please feel free to stay exactly where you are for as long as you can. Otherwise, let little bits of movement begin to travel back into the body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Giving yourself a nice big full body stretch. Let the arms reach to frame the ears, reach long through the legs as you interlace the palms. And as you're ready, gather the knees into the chest and make your way onto one side, finding a pause in the fetal position. From that space, gently pressing up to seated, let the eyes be closed or just a soft gaze. Let the hands rest on the tops of the thighs, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Let the arms release alongside of the body, tense if the fingertips just graze the mat. And take a real moment here just to transition back into your day, back into your space. And think about this feeling of hopefully being a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, but also a little bit stronger. And see if you can let that trickle into your day. With your next inhale, let the arms rise, palms touch above the head. And on the exhale, guide the palms to heart center, gently bowing the head. Thanking yourself for your practice this morning, for sharing your practice and holding space for one another, and for allowing me to guide your journey. It is an honor and a pleasure. Namaste.